Look, I always wonder who's the type of people who actually go someplace, have a bad experience, and go online and write a review about it. I always wondered who does that. We're ready to go, baby. Here we are. We're back. We're doing it again. What? We're doing it again. We're doing it again. Another episode of Rated G, number 5, baby. We are deep in it. We are a handful of shows now. You don't get more legit than that, man. Right? We're in it. We're doing it. It's your boy, Gary G Garcia, your host extraordinaire. I'm feeling myself today. Here with my boy, Brian Licata.
Hello, hello.
The producer that gets it all done and makes this shit happen, man. I appreciate you, brother.
Of course, man. I appreciate you. It's one of the bright spots of the week is recording this podcast because you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, I hit you up last night to see if we were doing it, and your phone was shut off. And
dude, you called me. You called me at like midnight. I was sleeping.
You sleep at midnight? I thought you said you said on one of the podcasts the other day, living the comedian lifestyle now. You was talking about it on with Mike the other day on his podcast.
So
I'm living the comedian lifestyle now, and you were in bed by 12 o'clock. You must have had the early show.
I'm in between the comedian lifestyle right now because I'm still working part-time at the golf course, and I had to go into the golf course this morning. So I went to sleep pretty early last night, but I was on the phone with Merck yesterday, and he told me you guys sold the show out, and I was like, oh man, that's great
on
for
a Tuesday night.
Yeah, I was like, dude, that's great for a Wednesday. He's like, bro, it's Tuesday.
It's Tuesday. Oh, today's Wednesday.
Today's Wednesday.
Oh, see, man, I forget, so you can't even get mad at that. Yeah. But man, what was I just gonna say? You just said something about
working somewhere else.
Going to bed at 12. Oh, that's all I want to say. Yeah, but I called you and it went straight to voicemail. So you one of those motherfuckers who turn their phone off when they go to sleep?
I don't turn it off, but what I do is I put it on the do not disturb on iPhone. So I can set the times where from 10 o'clock at night to 4 in the morning, it won't ring, but it'll still be on. But if you call me twice in a minute, it'll ring. So it has like an emergency feature. So if something really goes wrong,
I was gonna say, damn, dude, if I get hemmed up at 10:45, I'm fucked.
You just gotta call me a couple times.
Keep calling back.
Yeah, exactly.
Man, it's hard to do in a life and death situation. But now that I know, all right, I'll make sure I redial.
You can set favorites, almost like a speed dial.
I know I didn't make that cut.
You're not on that cut.
I didn't make that cut. I know I didn't make that cut.
But
I get mad at people that turn off their phones when they go to sleep.
Yeah, it's not off, but I mean, if you call me twice in a short period of time, it would ring.
I know people that I put it on silent, completely on silent. You silent it? How you gonna hear anything? I don't want to hear anything. What if there's a fucking emergency? You selfish bastard. You know what I'm saying? But I knew I wouldn't make that cut to
the favorites.
Why would I? I would use it. I would overly step that line all the time. All the time. For no reason whatsoever either, just to do it. Now, 12 o'clock was early. I was even bugging that.
But I didn't answer.
That you didn't answer. I was like, dude, what the fuck?
One time Ray called me at 3:30 in the morning.
Ray will do that.
Yeah. And I talked to him the next day. I'm like, he's like, dude, you didn't answer when I called you yesterday. I was like, bro, it was the middle of the fucking night. I was sleeping, man.
3:30 in the morning is still up.
Yeah, that's like peak comedian time.
Yeah, actually, I might be just starting to go to bed nowadays.
Yeah,
but pre-corona, 3:30 in the morning was.
Well, especially nothing. Probably when you were up in New York too. I mean, the scene up there is probably much different than it is down here. At least with late night shows and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, New York, I probably would be chilling till 4 and then hitting the trains to go back home.
Yeah,
that's what makes it so tough, man. Those trains at 4 in the morning, those shits fucking suck. But yeah, man. So we're back with another episode. How'd your week go this week?
Pretty good, I guess.
You know what?
I don't think I had anything eventful.
You know what's so funny is your expression just now was exactly how I felt about this week.
Yeah.
I thought about this week and I said, what the fuck did I do this week?
Yeah.
I'm back every night performing. That's a good thing. Big up to my 2 fans who came out and got me put back on stage. Pew, pew. Shout out to them. Hey, fan power, baby. There's power. My fans have power. You know, and if enough of them want to see me, they're going to see me. So I appreciate you guys, man. That was awesome. It was a great comeback.
Did you have any, like you feel like you missed a beat after being off for like a week or so, or
well,
what?
I mean, we still did the show, which always keeps me just fucking
sharp, yeah.
Talking and shit.
Yeah.
And I had like a couple of shows outside that I did.
Oh, that's right, you did.
Brewery
Okay,
one
yep.
was dope, you know. And then this Saturday I'll be out in Jamaica, but by that time, that's when this comes out. So,
we could say if you're not doing anything tonight and you're in Queens, Gary will be on a show.
If you're not doing anything tonight and you're in Queens, I'm gonna be out in Jamaica. Go to my page, Gary G Garcia on Instagram, man. Get the info for that show. Come out and check me out. Boom, that was you're so. That's why you're here, dude.
Thanks, man.
You know what I'm saying? That's why you're here, man. You know, I'm happy to see your hair's growing back. And are you gonna go back to that person?
Fuck no, dude.
Yeah, I was wondering how many times it took.
Yeah, hold on, I'm gonna see if I can.
If you go to a place that you like the food, and then one day the food's fucked up, do you just not go back? Or do you give them, like, how many chances do you give a place to fuck up your food?
This is actually a great question. I think you're going to learn a lot about me right now. So I'll give them one shot. It depends on how bad the food is, but I will give them one shot, especially if the place is new. But I think there's like a certain meter of how bad the food can be. Like if it's across a certain threshold, like that's it. You know, if it's like completely garbage, like I'm out.
What about like the place has been there forever. You love this place. You know what I'm saying? And then one day you go, the food's not bad. It's just as good as always, but you get sick. Do you ever go back to that place again?
So here's the thing. So
I know a lot of people who like just stopped going to a place one time. They got sick. I'm like, how do you know it was even the food that got you sick?
Yeah, so my fiance, she has stomach troubles sometimes with like certain places. So there's like 5 or 6 restaurants that I won't go to anymore with her. I personally, knock on wood, have never had food poisoning before. I have like an iron stomach.
See, it's hard for me to know.
Like what it was from?
What I'm throwing up for. It's hard for me to know why I'm throwing up. Yeah, I ate late last night and I ate at a shitty place, shrimp at a gas station. But I also drank like mad liquor and partied and had, so it's hard to pinpoint exactly what it is that made me throw up. I like to think it's just the combination of them all. You know, I don't like to be a favorite to any of them. I like to they all had something to do with it, you know?
So, I have a confession to make.
Oh, shit.
So when I first got clean and I was living down here, I, made it my mission to try to just like pretty much go up and down the island and just hit all the restaurants to see like what I liked, and I developed a habit of getting in the mode of writing Google reviews for places.
You're a Googler. You do Google reviews.
So
who the fuck would care what you think about food? First of all, you're fucking skinny. Like I wouldn't even think you actually know that much about food. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would think your food is all healthy shit for some reason, even though I know, you just said this once you got clean, so you wasn't being healthy, but.
I gave that barbershop 3 stars the other day, the one that
you went there and gave a review? Oh my God, man.
So so it's like, so
I'm not going to cut you off that.
I want to tell you that it did start initially as support for good local restaurants that I like, because part of the reason why I did it is because I understand how Google works. And if someone has like a lot of high reviews, they're going to be up higher in the Google search, right? Like, so if, ACJokes has, 10 reviews and the next comedy club has 30 reviews, when you type in comedy club Atlantic City, the one with the higher number is going to get listed first. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like my way of helping out the business. But then it turned into a little bit of a creative writing exercise. Oh. And it actually all spawned out of a really bad experience I had in an ice cream shop.
In the ice cream shop? Yeah. There's a lot of those out here. There's a lot of ice cream shops
well, there's 3 I'll never go to ever again.
Oh my God. Oh, well, how can they fuck up ice cream, dude? But did it come melted? Did you have to drink your ice cream?
All right, so
white people.
So, all right, so here's the issue. And I think you're gonna maybe you'll take my side on it, maybe you won't. So I go into the ice cream shop with my boy, right? And we go in, there's a big long line, we get stretched out this way, and then we turn around, and then we're at like the front of all the counters, right?
Okay.
So I say, I want a, medium cone. He gets a medium cone, whatever. They hand us the cones over the cooler.
With no ice cream.
No. With the ice cream in it. So I get the ice cream, I start eating it, whatever, blah, 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 blah. Then I get to the end of the line. And I go to give the lady a card, and she's like, it's a $10 debit card purchase. And the order was only, $8.60, right? But now nowhere in the store did it say that there was a $10 minimum on cards. Like it wasn't like, sometimes they'll have it like right.
Did she point to it on the register?
It was on the top of the register. And I'm like, well, I understand.
But you sucking me in here because it should be somewhere like right where I walk in.
Exactly, right? Like it should.
That's how they get you.
Yeah, like it should be all the way. So then I say to the lady, I'm like, well, do you take returns on a half-eaten ice cream cone? Because I don't have any cash. And then she goes, well, there's a liquor store next door, and you can go to the ATM there. So
I would have said, okay, I'll be right back.
I see. I
would have told her, here, hold on to this for me. I'll be right back, and I would have just fucking left.
That's in hindsight, that's what I should have done. But I said to the lady, I was like, so you want me to go next door, pay $3 because you don't want to pay 30 cents for the transaction, because that's what it's going to cost you. It's going to cost you 30 cents to run the card. And she's like, well, there's nothing I can do about it. I was like, well, let me get the manager. So then the owner comes out. I tell the owner, I say, listen, I'm not trying to be a dick, but like
I'm going to be a dick right now.
Well, it didn't say it anywhere.
Yeah.
So
he said, let me get the manager.
Yeah. That's
the number. That's the first, right? I mean, in the book of white people calling managers, that's it, right? You spoke to them. They said, there's nothing I can do. Let's talk to the manager. So you know what I would have said? I would have said, there is something you can do. You can take this card and charge me for $8, whatever the fucking charge is. There's nothing you can do. Try it. That's what I said. I would have said, try it. Again, swipe it and put in the charge 8 something. Let's see if it works. The fuck out of here. There's nothing I can do.
So then he comes out and he's like, well, it's a $10 minimum. I'm like, yeah. I understand.
Yeah, I wouldn't have called you if that wasn't the issue here.
Right. I understand that there's a minimum. So now I'm like, okay. I said, listen, man, like I live in town. Me and my girl get ice cream together 2 or 3 times a week in the summertime. It's like
we are regular ice cream getters here.
Like you're around the corner from my house. Like I'll come here like all the time. It's not like now that I know, I'll bring cash. You know what I mean? There's a restaurant. I'll say the name, Sapor, which is like a little Italian place.
I don't know what it is,
in Ventnor. Yeah. Whatever, but they have a $10 minimum on cards too.
Yeah.
First time I went in there, $7. The guy's like, "Hey, listen, next time you come in,
it's a $10 minimum.
Bring cash."
Yes, it works. I've seen them do it.
Exactly.
They do it for me all the time.
Yeah.
I've seen it done. You're like, what do you mean? There's nothing I've seen it done.
And
see, that's the thing. See, there's the difference. You said, "Let me see the manager." At that point, I probably would have got violent. At that point, I would have just been violent. Maybe I should learn how to say, "Let me see your manager."
It's pretty easy. I mean, hey, man, if you want, we can go to this ice cream shop right after the show.
And I can just get one cone and try to pay for it on my fucking... Yeah, let's do that. We should film that. Me going in there to fucking get for one cone and be like, oh, shit, you just put that here. Like, I didn't see that over there. And isn't there, like, there's laws to that shit, dude? Like the same thing of no returns. They have to be at a certain eye level that motherfuckers my height are guaranteed to see.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but and then it's like,
oh, I do. Google me. You Google fucking checker. This motherfucker. I always wondered who's the type of people who actually go someplace, have a bad experience, and go online and write a review about it. I always wondered who does that.
You're looking at him.
I'm looking at him.
It's your producer.
That's fucking insane. I had a bad experience at your place. Everybody, don't go there. And I'm looking at reviews like that because I had a restaurant with my boy Lou back in Astoria. Big up to Chicken Soup. Pew 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 pew. We had a restaurant. Most of the reviews were always great. But there was some reviews that, like, the person who wrote it, I remembered the incident, and that person was a complete dick.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, why are we... See, I would have just got sprayed for saying that just now. But why are we, like, even giving these people a platform? I mean, give them the platform, but who the fuck cares? about your fucking opinion, B. Brian, who cares that you had a bad fucking experience?
So-
because you know what, man? You could have easily just fucking been like, look, just do it, man. Come on.
So you want to hear the rest of the
I
story?
mean, you said it was the summer? Was it the summer?
Yeah, it was the summer.
Oh, so you had a tan.
I did have a tan.
Yeah, they probably didn't know you were white.
And it's tourist season too, so they're probably trying to get people, like all the tourists, to just. So then the guy says to me, he's like, well, you need to get your purchase over $10. He's like, you can buy a bottle of water. It's like, I don't want a bottle of water. I want the ice cream. I came in here to buy the ice cream, just swipe the card. So the guy wouldn't do it. So then I buy a bottle of water. Now listen, the total only comes to like $9.70.
And he does it.
And he rings it up. So the benefit to me is that
you found a benefit in that.
Yeah, so here's the benefit. So now he actually had to pay more for the transaction than he would have had.
Because it was more money?
Because it was more money, yeah.
So it goes by how much money is actually on the card?
Yeah,
it's not like a solid fee?
No, it's like a percentage of whatever it is. I don't know if it's like,
So you
4%,
managed to
6%.
say, all right, I bought this extra water, but you had to pay more for me to make this purchase. And somehow that made you. I guess that's better than what I probably would have tried to do. I probably would try to grab his head, right from the back of it and just started hitting fucking numbers on the fucking, you fucking just fucking stupid. You know what I'm saying? The fuck out of here with that stupid shit. I would have fucking swiped his throat with my credit card. Fucking dummy.
So now the reason I write
people like that.
The reason I write the review is not necessarily for other customers to see it, but now so the owner has it on their record of me talking shit to them in perpetuity. Right, because that'll be
perpetuity.
Yeah, that'll be you
need to explain that word to me
forever.
And most of my listeners.
Forever.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, some of your listeners are probably educated.
I mean, probably. I'm thinking for the one. I know there's some that are like me. They have to be. You know what I'm saying? There has to be a couple like me somewhere. So there's something there. But can't they delete those? They can't delete those.
No, they can't. They can't delete them. Here you go. There you go. Right in the first time we're using the screen.
Oh, perpetuity. A bond or another security with no fixed maturity date. That's kind of far, dude. I'm 50, man.
Yeah, it means forever. So it means
forever.
Yeah, it's gonna be up there forever, and he can't. He can comment, he can respond back, but then I can't respond to him. But anyway, so
you don't think people look at those and know that there's some assholes out there that are totally you can't deal with them, and then they go on and they start giving fucking reviews.
Yeah, no, of course, but so me and my friends who I was with, we just more so used it as like a funny outlet to like kind of do some creative writing. Like, do you want to hear one for this pizza restaurant that I did?
Sure, why not? Let's hear it. I mean, you took the time to creatively write it, didn't you? So let's hear it.
This is a pizza shop in Northfield. This pizza lands somewhere in between Bowling Alley Pizza and DiGiorno's. I knew I should have walked out when I saw the conveyor belt oven. I've had better slices at 3 a.m. from 7-Eleven. I'd say this is Northfield's leading contender in the must-miss category of 2018. Better off getting a half gallon of ice cream and a pack of bagel bites.
Why in the world would you even take those are exactly the fucking reviews that make me go, this is what's wrong with the fucking world. Like, this is why the internet isn't good. Like it was great when we had the idea of sending photos of your grandkids. You don't get to see them, but giving people like you a fucking platform to say, I knew I shouldn't have been there when I saw the conveyor belt. Fucking, what oven would have satisfied you?
Oh, dude, a brick oven, the big steel oven. It was like a Domino's pizza oven. And we're in Jersey, man. I mean, even South Jersey, the pizza's not that good, but you should have a respectable slice of pizza. And it really offended me. It offended me more as an Italian person in New Jersey. This pizza was so bad.
People just putting their idea. Like, I mean, but you know what's even worse than that review? Because you had a bad experience, and to some extent, I kind of understand a person wanting to vent about their bad experience in a place that lets them do it. Fuck it, it's there. I'm going to tell people what a piece of shit you are. The ones that go into these places and start talking like they're actual food critics, they're not saying it. They're not going in going, yo, I went to this place. The experience was dope. I highly suggest you go there, try the view. You know what I'm saying? No, they're going in there going, the ambience was a little off. And the music was a little too loud for my liking, and the station should have been on 10, but like, shut the fuck up. Don't go there again. I don't.
So now I will say that if I go to a really good restaurant, I will give them a glowing review to get those numbers up on the stats. So it's not like I just go around and nitpick shitty restaurants.
I mean, I guess even with the club, we want people to review, right? So you're going to get some bad reviews in there, right? I mean, I don't.
Yeah, it's good. It's good for just, the Google search and shit like that.
And you're a Googler, so you would know.
I'm a Googler, yeah.
I always wonder who the fuck did that, man. I always fucking wondered who the fuck takes the time to go online and leave a review.
It's the millennial in me,
and it's all bullshit.
It's a millennial in me.
The thing is, everyone knows you really can't trust those reviews. Because even the good review, okay, you're there if you have a really good time, yours is sincere, but how do I know you're not the owner of that fucking place?
Yeah, you don't.
So it's all just bullshit.
Yeah, for my business, I have 4 or 5 different Google accounts that I just gave myself 5 stars and wrote some review to try to get the numbers up.
Oh, see, people, there it is. I exposed, man. I just had my first expose just now, man. Right? Is that what you call it? Am I using words properly right now? Hold on.
I think so.
Shout out to the proper use of language. Pew 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 pew. We're doing it today, man. Fuck, hey. I felt like very unprepared when I woke up this morning. Like I felt like I was very unprepared for today's show. And then I remembered we don't fucking prepare for these shows. So what am I worried about? You know what I'm saying? Like half the time I don't think they're good till I go home and watch them.
There's been a couple of them. Last episode I knew it was going to be good from the jump. We
hit so many things. We brushed a lot of surfaces. We didn't really go deep into anything, but that's okay. That's how it goes sometimes. Oh. Somebody sent me something interesting. Lil Nas X. Have you heard of this dude?
Yes, I have heard of Lil Nas X.
Have you heard of his Satan sneaker? No.
But here, I'll
just bring it up, baby.
Yeah, pull it up.
The Satan sneaker, dog. Supposedly it has a drop of human blood in the heel, and it's got like the pentagram on the front. It's got a scripture about Satan on it. And this, that, and the other thing, and they sold out like within seconds.
Here you go.
They were $1,013.
There you go.
$1,013.
Dude, they're pretty cool. They're pretty badass, dude. They're like Air Max 360s.
Yeah, that's basically it. And basically, he's being sued supposedly by Nike because Nike did not put that out.
Oh.
So supposedly, Nike's saying we had nothing to do with that. We didn't put it out, and that they're currently suing them. But that shit is crazy. And then he's gonna be like, he's not worshiping Satan and this and that, and it's crazy. People are nuts, man. I mean, listen, like I said, I always say it. Do you, but motherfucker, you bugging. You know what I'm saying? You see, and you got to see his video. Homeboy's giving a lap dance to the devil.
Yeah, I saw some stuff online about the video, and he was just like, he pretty much said what we were talking about earlier. If you don't want to watch it, don't watch it. You don't have to.
At first I had like it did what it was supposed to do when I first saw it. It made me go, what the fuck? When I first saw it, and then I remembered I've been desensitized all my life to everything around me. So I just said, you know what, man, that's just a dude I'm just not going to really pay attention to. His whole argument is he's just basically saying fuck you to the church because they've always made him feel like shit for being gay. I could understand the bitterness.
Yeah, I can understand. Yeah, I can understand that.
I can understand the bitterness. But if you believe in all that spiritual shit, you're still uplifting Satan. So at the end of the day, he don't care what your motivation is behind it. He's just being uplifted in a sense. Well, no, in the total sense, that's what's being done. It's not in a sense, it's what's going on.
And then he probably just wanted people to talk about him. Like that's definitely a big publicity thing.
Yeah, I still don't really give a fuck about him. I never really cared for his music anyway.
Yeah, so I was going to ask you, did you listen to that Old Town Road song he had when it came out?
Yeah, I didn't know that was him.
Oh, okay. What'd you think of the song?
Yeah, I didn't know that was him. Yeah. I just found that out actually today when I was doing a little research on the sneaker. to see what was up. And that's where I heard that he was like, I'm just basically, putting the middle finger up to the church. I'm not worshiping Satan. But, you are uplifting him, my brother. That's what you're doing. So, it is what it is. Just more bullshit going out there, man. Saw some flat earth. The people have been sending me a lot of flat earth shit.
I'm sure they are, dude.
I've been getting a lot of flat earth shit, man. I got a little more understanding of the theory of the flat earth, which is a dome shaped. I saw this actually thing the other day. Today I saw this thing where they were talking about the dome shaped flat earth, right? And they were showing like how in politics and in commercials and in TV and movies, they keep putting it in our face. And yet, people don't notice it. Yeah, that's it right there. The dome-shaped flat earth. And, well, that one doesn't have the moon and the sun in it, because the one that they're saying is like what it really looks like in the dome is the moon and the sun, and they go around like this.
Huh.
They go around, what is it, east to west, right? Is that what you would say? So, and now they're showing like all these like clips, and the thing I saw, they were showing all these clips of like Hillary Clinton talking about breaking the glass ceiling, and how they always like to use double meanings to everything, and that she used breaking the glass ceiling as women's power, but it had the thing of breaking the top of the dome, and how they're trying to break through that. And then they show these videos where like, I forgot what band it was, but in the video you see like the sky starting to crack and it starts to fall in and water floods in.
This is like a music video or something?
Yeah, it's a music video. And then they show like the news talking about breaking the glass ceiling, and they show a couple of commercials where like a baseball player swings the bat and it goes out of the park and then breaks the glass ceiling of the dome and continues to go. So there is a lot of things. They got a Simpson fucking... Now, if it's on The Simpsons... If it's on the fucking Simpsons, motherfucker, pay attention and beware. If it's on the Simpsons, that's all I'm saying. There are so many things, about that shit, right? The whole Simpson conspiracy shit. There are so many things that shit is put out. There's some fake ones, because now, with the internet, and because that's been known, people are making ones up now, so it's hard to know what's real and what's not. But before everybody was onto that shit, there are a lot of fucking things that they predicted that they put on their show before it ever happened. That's a little weird.
Yeah, it is. I'm looking through a list. They got like a Ebola outbreak, Disney buying 20th Century Fox, the tobacco plant, which is actually the first episode that I ever watched.
Trump becoming president.
Trump becoming president.
Down to a fucking scene that they showed the cartoon and they showed him actually going down, and they point at some dude and the cartoon and him point at the fucking thing. It's insane.
They did a Game of Thrones like a plot twist thing. Yeah, that's... So
what do you think it is, man? Time travel?
With the Simpsons?
Yeah, you think the producer is a time traveler, or the director, or the writers?
I think there's like...
You think somebody's out there fucking going back and forth?
No, I think that there's like thousands of Simpsons episodes. Like thousands, right?
Oh, yeah.
So it's like a numbers thing that they're obviously going to get some shit right. They're gonna write something because they're like the
so
guys.
They're just lucky.
Yeah,
it's a numbers game. Like a broken clock is right twice.
Yeah, I think it's well. So the non like conspiracy theory part of me thinks that that's probably what it is. Like the rational part of my brain. You know what I mean?
Non-conspiracy theory. I find it interesting that right away, instead of saying the non-conspiratorial, I don't know if that's a word, but it sounds good to me. That's what I would say. Because why do you throw theory right behind it? Because, boom, that's what you were trained. You were trained that when you hear conspiracy theory,
right,
and right away he's a nut. As if conspiracies haven't happened. Yes. You know what I'm saying? Like as if conspiracies haven't happened. They've happened. They've been known. They've been exposed. There's a reason why there's a word created called conspiracy. You know what I'm saying? There's a definition. People be bugging out sometimes, man. Well, not everything's fucking conspiracy, but a lot of that shit is. A lot of it. How much? I don't know. Like I said, I don't even know if I believe them all. Well, I know I don't believe them all. I'm just at the point where if I find out it's real, I'll be like, oh,
yeah,
that one was real.
I subscribe to that mentality. So have you been doing some research on the flat Earth? Is it kind of swaying you towards one way?
People have been sending me shit, and I don't know, man. I am definitely still a hardcore round Earth skeptic.
Yeah,
I definitely am, man. I don't know. There's just, I'm open to it, whatever. But
is there anything that you like saw that kind of made you like think about it a little bit more, like in depth?
Well, today was the first time I ever saw it where they had the moon and the sun underneath the dome, and the way they spun it to explain why it's dark on one side and light on the other. You know what I'm saying? Because my whole thing about the world being round was always, well, when it's light here on the other end, it's dark. So of course it's spinning. You know what I'm saying? But when I saw that and the way they showed it, how the lighting works, and I was like, okay, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. It's in freaking Call of Duty. They were showing a scene from Call of Duty that had the freaking flat Earth in the corner of it with the moon and sun in the dome.
Kind of like that.
Like that. Boom, yeah, like that. And that rotates around. So it's lighting one section while the other section is dark.
Did you find anything about what they say the sun and the moon is? Is it still like a star, or how do they...
Nah, I haven't gone that deep. I haven't gone down that rabbit hole too deep, man. I mean, I am interested. It's got me buzzing, but I haven't gone down too deep. I really just haven't had the time, but I haven't gone down that road too hardcore.
I think one day soon, man, me and you should just hang out for a whole day and just watch just tons of conspiracy videos and see what happens.
It would be great. It would be great, yo. What happened is I have my own new theory of shit because I'll just fucking blast them all together and I won't be able to think straight. That's the problem. It's too much. It's just too much. There's no ending to the bottom. And then that's where it becomes crazy. Because the deeper you go, it just gets deeper.
Yeah, man.
It started with just, the deep state government. Like that's where it started for me, with the conspiracies of Kennedy and assassinations and them trying to keep everybody divided. And then somewhere that went into, molesting children, selling children, fucking drinking their blood. Adrenochrome, which is an actual thing. I looked it up. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, it becomes very, very, to a point of like, man, I can't say I don't believe that. See, that's the thing too, man. When you look at politicians and you look at like people who do the news, you ever look at those motherfuckers, man. Look at them. Look at them. They don't look right. Something don't look, especially like those CNN, fucking MSNBC, like those motherfuckers. I'm not talking about the nightly news motherfuckers. Them dudes might be on the come up. Some of them too. But if you look at those CNN, those MSNBC motherfuckers, they're always so fucking blinky. You ever notice that? They can't fucking say a couple of words without blinking like 5 to 6 times, man. It's like they're taking pictures of everything around them, And then I see those documentaries about
like Queen Elizabeth and Obama and Clinton and all them being reptilians.
Reptilians, like when I first heard that, dude, I was like, shut the fuck up, reptilians. I was like, how dumb are we gonna get? But nowadays, I don't know if I necessarily don't believe in reptilians. I'm not saying I don't. I'm not saying I do. I'm just saying if I found out that there were creatures underneath these CNN, MSNBC, politician motherfuckers, I wouldn't be surprised. Because they look like there's something up with them. These blinky, like I was sitting there one time, dude, watching these motherfuckers blink, blink, blink. And I'm talking fast. Watch it. Next time you're watching CNN or MSNBC or any of these motherfuckers that are deep into the politics of what's going on, not those, fucking groundhog investigating motherfuckers. I'm talking like these dudes that are deep into like trying to push the agenda, those fucking new shits.
Right.
Look at those blinky motherfuckers. They do, like they'll be in the middle of a sentence and they're doing this the whole time. And they're like, yeah, so we're going to come back and they're just blinking the fuck out. And I said, do I do that? So I was watching the podcast and I was like, no, I blink like a fucking normal human being. I can get out a full sentence, blink maybe 2 in a row sometimes. Eyes get a little dry. These motherfuckers be blinking like 20 times in a fucking row. Stop for a second, then blink again. Watch that shit. Next time you're watching all those fucking CNN reporters, blinky ass motherfucking, probably reptilians. I don't know.
Yeah, so I've looked into the reptilian thing a time or two, actually. What do you think? How do you think people got to the planet like first? Like, do you think it was like an evolution from a single cell organism that created everything? What's your philosophy
I guess I
on that?
lean more on the side of creationist.
Okay.
I don't really have. Everybody's searching for like, how did we get here?
Mm-hmm.
And I've always searched more for what's my purpose here. I'm here already. So what's my purpose of being here? I can't say I'm not interested on how did we get here, but I don't believe that we evolved from apes. Why are there still apes? Why did some apes decide, nah, I don't want to do that. I'm going to stay right here. You know what I'm saying? Nah, man, once I evolve, I got to get a job and shit. Fuck that. I'll just chill here and eat my bananas. I just don't believe that. You know what I'm saying? I believe each species evolves. I mean, obviously, man has evolved. If you look at even just the figure, the shape of men and women back in the 20s and 30s,
right?
To the way the shapes are now.
Yeah, even something evolve. I saw was like
people jump higher, run faster.
Like shoe sizes of males, like the biggest shoe size was like in the early 1900s was like 9. And then when people started wearing sneakers, everyone's feet started to they kept growing. Like as kids, they used to wear like dress shoes, so it would keep their feet.
You had to wear dress shoes as a kid.
In like the 1910s, that's all they had.
Oh, the 1910s.
Yeah, that's all they had was like dress shoes.
Strictly, right? When did sneakers come in, man? God bless the sneaker. I would fucking be angry if I always had to wear dress shoes, man. I don't like it. I'll wear sneakers with a suit to a funeral.
This says
and a baseball cap like I just got signed to the NBA, motherfucker. I don't give a shit.
The first running shoes were designed in 1895.
Oh, so see, look at that. They've been around for a while.
Yeah, but it's really not that long.
Yeah, no.
Like
1895.
I mean, that's, it's literally only like 100 years. And now we have Satan shoes.
Yeah, man. Imagine having to walk around in fucking dress shoes all day. They had it rough back then.
Yeah, well, the reason I asked that is because some people think that, the reptilians came from another planet and then, helped populate and then, move through move the human civilization on and advance them. That's like one
I don't know
theory.
where they came from. I don't know if they were always here or if they came in. I mean, I guess there has to be different universes and shit like that. I don't know. I don't know, man. I've never been outside the dome. I've never broke through the glass ceiling, dog. So I don't know what goes on, be honest. And it's funny because I remember when I first met Zach, right? And Zach said he didn't believe in space. And I said, you don't believe in space, motherfucker? And he was like, no. And I was like, you don't believe in space? Like, you could look up. There it is. Space. And then like he started dropping some shit like that kind of falls into the same thing of like that whole Truman, it's not real what we see.
Yeah, the Truman Show,
shit. All I can say is, man, like, imagine, The only thing that makes me say imagine is that, like I said, I come from the thought of art imitates life, not the other way around. Mm-hmm. So when you see movies and shit that like keep talking about this shit, I used to think, fake was fake, but is it? I mean, think about it. When Star Trek came out and you saw them using those cell phones, the flip phones, you know what I'm saying? Like our phones are actually better than Star Trek's phones when they used to fucking talk.
Yep.
I mean, they had better connection probably. They were in fucking space, but I'm just saying everyone was bugged out with that, and for some reason it was like so in the future, but now we have cell phones. We have what those motherfuckers,
Yeah, there was a show on Disney when I was a kid, and they had it was this girl It was called Xenon, Girl in the 21st Century or something like that. It came out like probably like 99, but it was like a Disney Channel movie for kids.
Yeah.
And they had these like Palm Pilot, like the girl lived in this space station and then like came back, for whatever reason, she had to move back down to like Earth or whatever. And they had these like Palm Pilot, iPad looking things. And that's how they would communicate. And I was like, whoa, you'll be able to talk to somebody from a tablet. And let me see if I can pull it up.
And it was shown to us how long ago, and like, even think about holograms and shit. What we were talking about last time, Star Wars, they had the hologram fucking chess sets. Mm-hmm. And we were like, whoa, imagine the chess. Man, come on, man. The technology is so crazy that they have. I mean, supposedly we got the technology from aliens. I saw a thing where we met with aliens and we made a trade with aliens for their technology. And we let them snatch up a couple of people every now and then and probe their assholes. I saw a thing that said that, you know what I'm saying? And then you get people who come down and say they were snatched by aliens. And there's not a motherfucker that'll believe them. Yeah. They probably have a support group for that shit.
What, alien support group? I'm sure they do.
I'm guessing they do. Some sort of alien abduction support group. Makes you question, man. What's real, what's not. That's what happens when anything goes. Everything gets questioned.
I think I found it.
You found a support group for alien abducted. See, we're learning things now too, man. We always learn something new on this show, man. There it is. I think I'm just being stupid, and sure enough, there it is. Dude, we should go join an alien support group. That would be fucking dope. Join an alien support group.
There's got to be one in New York. Like there has to be one. Like I'm sure there's one in New York.
Why would there have to be one in New York?
Because New York's got everything, man.
But you think we have a lot of people getting abducted by aliens?
The UFF Disclosure Network, New York. 541 group members.
What we're about. UFO and paranormal topics. Paranormal. It's like that ghost shit. Yo, you ever watch Ghost Hunters? It has to be one of the dumbest fucking shows in the world. The only thing dumber than that show are the motherfuckers who watch that shit like religiously. I can understand you checking it out, so I'm not talking about you like, oh, I saw it once or twice. These motherfuckers that are like, oh, new episode of Ghost Hunters. Have you ever seen a fucking ghost on that show? Ever? All you'll hear is like, the dude going, it's just got real cold in here. I'm starting to get real cold. So you say, motherfucker, how do I know that you really cold? And then you hear a thump or some shit. Oh, do you see that? No, I didn't see anything, motherfucker. I've never seen a ghost on Ghost Hunter. Please, somebody, send me a clip of a real ghost on fucking Ghost Hunter if you got one, man. Inbox it to one of my fucking pages. I've never seen a ghost on fucking Ghost Hunters. And yet people still watch that dumb shit. It's fucking ridiculous. I don't even know how to even do, like, who does they really don't give a fuck anymore when it comes to programming. They really just want our brains to turn into rotten tomatoes. That's what they really wanted to do. They wanted to, that's just a metaphor. That whole thing of rotten tomatoes is just a metaphor of what they really want our brains to do. Just rot. Just fucking rot.
See, that's the one thing I like about our relationship is we're both into documentaries. That's how I know I can usually jive with somebody if that's kind of what they like to watch.
It's incredible to me how like the shit that like I watch Ridiculousness,
which is the only thing MTV ever has on anymore.
Who does that programming? A computer. Who does the programming? Have they just said we have enough, and then when we make a new one, it posts up on it? It just stays on. That motherfucker's rich. That motherfucker's rich. Has to be. Fucking Rod Dyrdek fucking all day long. All fucking day. Even Law and Order switches to Criminal Minds after a fucking day or two. That's fucking insane. I don't know how people are still making money. TV programmers don't even fucking try anymore.
Yeah, it said his Dyrdek's net worth is like $100 million.
100 million.
I thought it was going to be more, but that's a lot still.
And growing every fucking day.
Yeah.
He's on right now.
Yeah.
Right now as I speak, And right now, as you're watching this live on you, as you're watching this, he's on, and he was on right now as I'm saying this. He's always fucking on.
When
I didn't think anyone would take out Law and Order.
me and my girl, we were at when we were down in Florida. Like I had the hotel cable and had like the Guy channel, and it just was MTV Ridiculousness just all the way across the thing.
It's on so much. I actually say that now like it's an actual word. I'll be like, that's ridiculousness. Like I say it like it's a real fucking word. Yeah. That's the crazy shit. You know, but big up to ridiculousness, you rich motherfucker. Big up to you, man. Finding a way to make fucking money doing as little as possible. That's a fucking beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing, man. You know, it's a rough game, dude. You think they're gonna let me in? You think they're gonna let me play? You know, I
would have to say absolutely not.
They're not, right?
That's fine.
I just got a critique. We won't say who did it or what it, or we'll go to it. But I got a critique about what I do, and you know, basically, if I want to cross over, I gotta play the game, man. It's a good thing I don't want to cross over, man. I mean, the funny thing is, like all that shit that dude said, I've been hearing that since I was young. When I was signed at Epic at 22, they wanted me to sell out. We love you. You're great. We love your shit. Now change it. Because we know you better than you know you. Suck my whole entire fucking penis, you fucking bastards. The fuck out of here, man. I hate shit like that, man. You know? That there's a reason why they call that bitch shit. You know, like the industry does a lot of bitch shit. You know, they'll bring you in, we love you, we love your shit. Then you try to do your shit, and all they do is try to change it. It's like when a chick finds a dude, I love you. Move in with me, marry me. Now change. Now fucking change. Fuck out of here. That's why there's a lot of people I'm not gonna roll with. I'm only gonna go but so far. Every time I watch an episode, I'm like, how much do I want to destroy a career that hasn't even started yet? How much? Who do I want to go at next? You know? I really haven't gone at nobody. I'm just giving out theories and thoughts, but I know they're not popular. You know, and that's what it is, not popular. What was I hearing the other day? Oh, you know what I realized, man? Because I was bugging out on all this transgender stuff that's going on now. I mean, I guess it's always gone on, but lately around me, I've been seeing a lot of arguments and stuff like that, people posting stuff up, and then, you know, Facebook shit, man, you know what I'm saying? And people just arguing back and forth. And I saw some lady talking, and she was saying how she doesn't identify as a man or a woman. That's called, what is that called? Google that shit for me when you don't identify as a man or a woman. Okay. It's you know, she didn't identify as anything, as any gender. So it's something gender. Well, everything's always something gender.
Non-binary.
She was non-binary. And her wife was a woman, and her lover was non-binary too. I don't know. It just becomes so fucking confusing. And I sat there and I said, well, wait a minute, man, what the fuck is up with this gender shit? Like, I wanted to like know the actual meaning of these words, right? So I looked up gender, and it says gender is one of two, male or female. Boom, whatever. But then I read something that said a lot of people get confused and mixed up between sex and gender, and that those are two different things, which made me read more. And they were saying sex is your sex. If you're born with a penis, your sex is you're a male. If you're born with a vagina, your sex is you're a female. As far as gender goes, from what I read in this article, gender is more of what's been accepted in whatever region or area you are, in a sense. Mm. So gender, there could be more than two, supposedly through this definition that I saw. Yeah, I never knew that. I always thought that gender was strict, because it says gender really has nothing to do with your organs and whether or not you have, you know, a penis or a vagina. And I was like, what? And then I read it, and it said, no, that's the sex. And then I remember back in the day, they used to say, what is the sex of the child?
Right.
When I grew up, is what is the sex of the child. It never was what is the gender. So maybe they're just changing words on people. That's that word shit.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Word shit to confuse people and whatever. I mean, not that I care. I really don't care, but I have done the research to see how ignorant I am on the subject. You know? But at the end of the day, I don't care what people do. Why does anyone give a fuck what somebody else does to themselves? I don't get that. You know?
The thing that bothers me is when people try to tell you
what you are.
Yeah, what you should or shouldn't do. That's what I have the biggest problem with. You know what I mean? Like, or, you know, they'll try to say is, you know, this is, you know, moral or whatever, and you have to act like this because this is what's right, sort of thing. You know what I mean? I don't like that.
Yeah, I mean, I once said it comes down to like everybody wants to be accepted, right? And people want to be open to accept everything. And people will like a person will say to you, you got to accept everybody until that person comes across something that they just can't accept.
Mm-hmm.
So they draw the line right there. And they say, and then somehow like that moral is supposed to go for everybody. You know, it really is hard to say. But man, what was I just about to say? There was something that was on my mind when we were talking about that. I read into it. I found out I'm an ignorant person. I always find out I'm ignorant on one sense or the other. But I'm not surprised by that. Like even in the last episode, I kept saying systematic. It's asymptomatic. I realized that when I heard it, I was like, I'm saying the word wrong. But I tell you people, GED, don't go getting on me about shit. I'm just here bullshitting with my boy. You chose to watch it. All right. Mike said I don't have a podcast, I have a telethon. I'm like, my shit ain't this. The podcast be long out that motherfucker. Fuck out of here.
Yeah, I probably listen to 10 hours of podcasts a week. Yeah. Other than the ones I record, which I'm a part of too, which is another 3 hours.
If it's interesting enough, I'll watch it.
Yeah.
I'll get trapped into it.
Yeah, that's how I feel.
You know. But yeah, I mean, there's just so much shit going on. Especially now, like, I feel like I don't even know. There's just so much shit going on. And it feels a lot like, yeah, we might be there. We might be at that like last days kind of shit. You know?
Yeah, dude.
We might be there. You know? In my teachings, I heard the same way you can tell the season is going to change because the wind starts to get cool and, you know, the leaves start to fall. So you see the signs and you say, ooh, fall is coming.
Right.
Or it starts to have nice warm rain and you see flowers growing and you say, oh, spring is coming. The same way that you can read the signs of the seasons, you need to be able to read the signs of the times. So when you hear all this shit that like sounds like nutty shit forever since I was little, but then as I start to look and see, like I said the other day, this stuff actually happening, then you have to ask yourself whether or not, you know, what's coming. Mm-hmm. You know, winter is coming. That's what it feels like. It feels like winter is coming. And just like in fucking that fucking show, how it took fucking 6 seasons or whatever it was, 12 seasons for the winter to finally show up. I never saw the ending of that either. I never saw like when they came out with that last season.
Oh, you didn't watch it? Game of Thrones?
They took too long to come out with it. Was it 2 years, 2.5 years before they finally came out with that shit?
Yeah, so I was fortunate that I didn't watch any of it until the December before it came out. And I watched all 6 seasons. And by the time I got done all 6 seasons, the new one then came out.
See, that's the way to do it.
Yeah.
I like that shit, but I can't understand, like, even if, I mean, that's all make believe, but when you think about kings and like Caesars back in the Roman Empire days and shit like that, you know, like whole wicked fucking royalty families and shit, like, I don't even understand how, like, they made that little kid the fucking king.
Yeah.
Because he was in the bloodline. I mean, does shit like that really go on back in the day? Like if the kid was young and he was next in the bloodline, they still made that motherfucker the king? What was the youngest king that history, which we all know history goes to the winner. So what was the, your eyes just fucking exploded.
What do you, I want to guess first. I want to hear a guess from you. What do you think the youngest one was? It's
probably like a baby or some stupid shit, but I'm gonna say 9.
And we go to the screen.
The youngest king was Henry IV, who was 8 months and 26 days old at the time of his ascent. The youngest queen.
Whoa, that's weird. Queen consort.
The youngest queen consort. What's that?
Like the youngest woman who married the second wife of Richard II.
Was 6 years old?
Yeah.
Is that what that says?
Yeah.
And how old was the dude?
I don't know. We'll find that out.
See, that's what I'm talking about, dog. Why do people bug out when we say that this fucking government and these motherfucking politicians are raping little fucking kids and people bug the fuck out? It's been going on forever. It's been going on forever. This motherfucker was, what they say, 6?
Yeah.
6 years old. Come on, man. And then, like, who was making decisions for the fucking 8-month-old? Who was making decisions for that motherfucker? You know? And then what happened when he was able to form full sentences and watch shit? Did they let him did they just blind? Like, that's what I'm saying, man. Like in Game of Thrones, which I know is all fake and shit, but there's that one scene where, I mean, how old was that kid? 15? 14?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, it's probably 15,
and
16.
He tells them to cut this motherfucker's head off. And they do it. Because this young motherfucker just said to cut his... He's fucking 15, you dumb fuck. Why are you listening to him? Oh, he's the king. He's 15. Send that motherfucker to his room. You know what I'm saying? The fuck you sitting there fucking... listening to that motherfucker. Oh, because he's the king. Get the fuck out of here. I never understand people who blindly follow anything.
All right, so I'm gonna do some quick math right here. So this guy was born. I'm gonna tell you how old he was when he married the 6-year-old.
Oh my God, that's fuck. I'm usually blowing your head. You just blew mine. No pun intended.
He was 25.
25-year-old, probably related to Epstein in some way. Probably. There's another motherfucker. Like, what's up with that chick?
Oh, what?
Epstein's lady.
Ghislaine Maxwell?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think she's in prison, right?
Yeah, we don't know. They stopped talking. Every now and then they put a little thing up of what's going on page fucking,
page
36. And the newspapers only got like 32 of them that day. You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever happened to that bitch? How is nobody talking about that? You know, fucking Epstein. You think Epstein fucking killed himself?
Absolutely not.
Hell to the fucking no, man. That was a dude that'll take everybody down with him.
I drove by his house when we were down in West Palm. He has a house in Palm Beach. Me and my girl took a drive past it. We couldn't really see anything, but it was a big house.
I'm sorry.
No, it's all good. Yeah, we drove past Epstein's Palm Beach house when we were down there.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. We couldn't really see much just because it was like,
How'd you know that was his Palm Beach house? Does it say?
No, we Googled it and the address is like public. But that's where he was like spent a lot of his. He had the big place in New York, but he also had a spot in Palm Beach. Palm Beach is like super wealthy.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Yeah,
it's got to be. I've never been there. I'm sure if it was fucking trash, I would have been there once.
Yeah, but one thing that used to happen with all those kings and queens, like in the Middle Ages or of like Europe, is they were all like related to each other.
Yeah, they were all fucking each other.
Yeah, it was like
keep it in the bloodline.
Yeah, like the German king would send the daughter to England to marry the king, and then 5 years later, or 20 years later, their kid would get sent back to.
No, you mean 6 years later?
Yeah, 6 years later,
yeah. They send the kid over to fucking. Yeah. It's fucking insane, man. And that's back in what's that? What year frame is that? 1800s?
No, this was 1396.
1396.
Yeah, 1400.
And then you say now that's not going on now. No way, that's not going on now. Give me a fucking break, man. The Clintons fucking The Clintons, that's right, I said it. Fuck it. I already said, look at the eyes light up. But nah, I'm just saying, man, that one chick that worked for them got busted trying to bring 31 fucking Haitian kids with no papers into like America. They stopped her on the border, was gonna arrest her ass. She was facing mad years, you know, and the Clintons went down and got her off. Why? Why would you do that? And no one asked the question. The information's out there. No one even asked the question. You know, it was like their secretary or some crazy shit went out there with 30-something kids trying to bring them back. Did you find it? Are you looking at it?
Yeah, I'm looking for something. I just started using this new browser or this new search thing called DuckDuckGo, and
yeah,
it'll give you like the Google search is kind of like curated. Like Google will feed you the shit that it feeds you, but this website, like this search browser, won't do that.
Yeah, that's the thing. People are starting to try to find new search browsers because the ones that everyone's using, they're not giving you all that. Whatever they don't like ain't on there.
Yeah. So here, I'll just. So I typed in Haitian and Clintons, right? And the Google search is U.S. election. What happened, Haiti and the failed promise of U.S. aid, Clinton Foundation.
Oh, yeah, they're hating them.
Now, so if I go to DuckDuckGo, what's the real story? Clintons robbed and destroyed Haiti. Yep. 5 shocking facts about Clintons in Haiti. You'll, all right, but let me, I gotta read into this a little bit because I don't.
Everybody's changing those fucking programs now, those fucking browsers. If you want to get different information, get the fuck off those regular ones because those shits are already. They're just not letting you hear what's out there. But I mean, what's real, what's not? Who the fuck knows anymore, man? You know, I lean toward the fact that these motherfuckers are lying and all that shit is true. I lean toward most of that shit being true. Why should I believe them? Why the fuck should I believe them? You know? Fuck out of here. Everybody's always trying, and that's the thing. Like if you sit there and you look at what they show you on TV and in movies and shit, they just throw it in your face what they're doing, and people just take it right to the face. They take it right to the face, like a fucking. Let me just pull that back. I was gonna go some dark places. What do you see over there, dog? What's going on? I see a lot of facial expressions.
Yeah, well, one is in 2016, 59 dead bodies were found with missing organs in a small town of Thamazu in northern Haiti. It was never reported about. Digicel, some scam company or whatever, picked up millions of dollars in cash. 10% of it goes to the Clinton Foundation. The drug trafficking thing is really interesting, right? Because they had that whole thing go on with like George Young, like the Blow movie. Have you ever seen Blow?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, he was running drugs, and like a lot of it was going to Arkansas. He was dropping off in Arkansas, where Clinton, I think, was governor at the time.
Sniffing half of that shit. That motherfucker was a mad cokehead. Everybody knew that shit. Mad cokehead. I mean, not for nothing. Clinton probably looks like he's fun to do coke with. You know what I'm saying? You'd probably have a good time with Clinton. You know, I would say that. George, the younger George, he's probably fun to party with too. George W.
Oh yeah, he's got that big ranch.
He's just probably fun to fuck around with, man. He's probably like real down to earth. I mean, he's evil. You know, he's definitely a white devil. But he looks like he's fun to hang out with, man. Not gonna lie, man.
He was kind of funny too, man. Like in some of his like press conferences and shit, he was like, he was goofy.
Yeah, I feel like he had a good sense of humor. Would you want to chill with Obama? I don't know if I'd want to chill with Obama. Seems like he got a stick in his ass.
he smokes cigarettes.
He does, right?
So I would smoke a cigarette with him for sure. I'd be down with that.
Would you ask him about Big Mike?
Big Mike.
Yeah.
What Big Mike?
Oh man. Big Mike, dude, his best friend from college, who they say he married as Michelle. You never heard that? Go ahead, type it in a while. Big Mike. We touched on it a couple times. Let's go into it. I try to avoid it because, if it's not true, it's just them attacking another strong black woman, which offends me, But they've raised enough questions in my book. They have raised enough questions in my book to be like, what's going on, dude? What's going on? They got like video clips of him fucking mistaking her name instead of calling her Michelle. Look at your eyes, light the fuck up. Get your face on that. Look at your fucking face. Whoa. Well, no, that's manipulated right there. That's probably Photoshop. See, that's the thing. There's a lot of Photoshop shit. Because now you see what I'm talking about. Like, they got a lot where you see like a dick. You know, like you see like a bulge. They'll put a bulge. It's hard because you can do anything with Photoshop. So definitely what you see, that's why they say believe half of what you hear and even less of what you see. I never understood that till this realm that we're in now, where you can do so much with Photoshop. But that picture you brought up was hysterical. Bring that one up again. Because that was definitely Photoshop. But it's so hysterical how they tried to make him look so much like her. But no, I mean, the dude basically...
Like these cheeks are super fake.
That is too funny. That's probably Photoshop. But I mean, the facts surrounding it, other than what we see as Photoshops, is Big Mike was his friend in college. They were friends throughout all of college. It was his best friend. Nobody has seen him since college. Not dead, not alive, just no one's seen him. He just kind of disappeared, you know? And they show, like, then they start to show you, like, when you watch the conspiracy shit, like the width of their shoulders, the build of their bodies, and, you know, they compare them next to each other, and you start to sit there and go, I'm not saying that he is, but I'm just saying that, yeah, they got the same shoulders, they got the same arms, you know what I'm saying? Like, and then they just keep going on. Then they show a clip where, you know, if you put the video, you'll see a clip of of Obama going, well, when me and Michelle, yeah, see, like stuff like that, you know, you can Photoshop that shit easily. You know,
it's not even good.
It's not too hard to put nut sacks on someone, you know. And let's keep it real, we would have noticed that right there. It's not like NBC is gonna brush that shit out while they air it. So that's you know, that just goes to show you, though, how big that conspiracy is, that people are doing all kinds of shit like that, you know. Once I spoke about that on stage and people were just sending me memes about that shit for like weeks. For weeks, just memes about Big Mike being Michelle. But if you see like the clip, right? Like if you put in the conspiracy, put in clip, put in Obama, Miss says Michelle's name, or however you put it. Calls Michelle Michael. Put that. And a video clip will pop up. And they got like 3 of them, but they'll definitely find the major one, where there's a couple of them. You know, they got one, he goes, well, when Michelle gets mad, and I'm like, who missed that? That's the one that really got me to go, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? It's not all the shit that I saw, but when I heard that shit and I saw that there were like 2 other videos like it, I was like, wait a minute. I mean, can be manipulated. It could be manipulated. Anything could be manipulated. You know, not finding it.
Men and women of the finest military in the world.
There it is.
Most of all, Admiral Mullen, Deborah, Michael and I. What's the matter with you, nigga?
President, does
but
that
you heard when
make
he said
sense?
it? Here too.
You know,
that's another one. Let that play.
well, when Michelle's mad, when Michelle's mad,
says, he asked him, what does the first lady, you know, what are you scared of when it comes to, you know, whatever? And he goes, well, when Michelle gets angry. So, I mean, you know, and they slow it down. Michael. And they act like slowing it down makes it any more legit.
Yeah.
You know, like if you're fucking with the sound, you're fucking with the sound. You don't need to slow it down. I heard Michael.
Yeah, I mean, I've I don't know if I talked about this with you or with somebody else, but with like the amount of sound that I have now from you, like just from this podcast.
Yeah, you can fucking.
I could cut words out and make full sentences, and then just tweak it a little bit, and it would sound like, you know, I could have you saying anything.
That's some scary shit.
Yeah. So watch what you say to me.
I might have to. Doesn't matter what I say to you. I can say anything, and you're gonna fucking change it to whatever you want it to say. That's some scary shit.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's some scary shit.
And truthfully, I mean, the technology is only, it's only getting better. It's not getting worse.
What do you think they're doing now? They're working on the technology to recognize you just from your eyes and your eyebrows and your forehead.
Yeah, I mean,
Why
they can.
You think they want us to stay 6 feet apart?
Yeah, I mean,
because it works better when you're not in a group.
Yeah, you can. I mean, shit, you can.
And I know it's there because they face recognized me in Bally's when I got banned. When I got banned from Bally's, and I was sneaking in, I always had my hat down low and go and do the show. Then I had a good show. Next day, that I was like, walking around, my hat up, boom, 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 boom. Right away, they knew I was there. Face recognition. They're out there watching. I mean, I have it. You do, motherfuckers. They're watching you, motherfuckers.
I have the Face ID on my phone. I look at it, and I can wear sunglasses and headphones and a hood, and it'll open up.
And that don't bother you.
Yeah, I mean, it bothers me, but what am I going to do about it?
Not use the face recognition shit. Don't scan your face.
There's a camera right there. I mean,
that's true.
I mean, I got a webcam on top of this computer. I got one on this one. I got one on this one. There's probably cameras out in the street lights out there.
They say you are filmed over 1,500 times a day.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, or more, something like that. The number's very high. Depending on if you're in the city. I was looking at those numbers in New York. So in New York, obviously, it's going to be more.
Oh yeah, What do you if you had to pick a time period to live in, what would it be? Would it be this one or would it be another one?
When you say time period, you mean the fucking Stone Age, fucking
yeah. I mean, or
running around with fucking axes and fighting with everyone just runs into each other. What period is that? When everybody's just like, they all just running toward each other. They all just start fighting.
Like the Flintstones?
Nah, like fucking 300 and shit like that.
That's when you'd want to live?
No, I wouldn't.
Oh, okay.
But I'm asking, what's that?
Yeah, I mean,
I wouldn't want to be in that. Actually, you know what, man? What I don't understand is, if I was in that time and we had to go fight, I'm gonna keep it real, dude. I'm not gonna be in the front. The best place to be is in the back of that line. So let everybody run in and get the rumble going, and then you just kind of come in and catch people that aren't paying attention.
Yeah.
I never understand the people in the front. Some hardcore gangsters, but I don't want to be that.
Yeah, it's like in those old, if you watch.
What time would I want to be? I don't know. I think 50s would be cool.
Yeah.
60s would be cool. I think I would have did good in the 60s.
Yeah, I think so.
My time period, I think, was pretty good, man. 70s, 80s, 90s. I was at the end of fucking going out, having fun, and not relying on anything but yourself into this new realm of computers. And I was there for all that shit. I watched it come. I watched it grow. It's crazy. I remember when I used to see when the internet first came out, I used to be like, that shit ain't gonna last. That's some bullshit. I mean, it's like, I just got the internet. I was like, who gives a fuck, dog? What do you get to read newspapers on that shit? That's what I used to say to him. What do you read, newspapers? And then he said, look, you go to the newsstand, and there was like a newsstand. You click on it, you could read any magazine that was out at the time. And I was like, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
If not for porn, the internet would have probably never took off like it did.
I don't think that's true, but it's funny.
Look up the leader. Who's the leader in technology when it comes to the internet?
Oh yeah, that's. I mean, same thing with camera technology too. Like a lot of camera and film equipment.
If not for porn, you would not be able to send that picture of that grandbaby to the grandmother out there in Wisconsin. You wouldn't be able to do it.
I think
because somebody wanted to. Somebody said, I want to be able to send a picture of your tits or a picture of my dick across the country to someone else. Same thing with streaming. They led the way in streaming. And now they're leading the way in virtual.
Yeah, like VR and stuff like that. Yeah, I think if I had to pick a time period. Oh look, there's a dog here.
Oh,
what's up, puppy?
A big puppy.
Yeah. I think if I had to pick a time period, I would definitely go for let's get him. See if he gets on the screen. Oh, there he is.
Oh, who's a good boy?
This is Otto.
This is Otto, man.
Yeah.
Otto's like my third guest on the show.
Oh, what I was saying is,
Yeah, what period, man?
I would pick like turn of the century, 1900, 1905, 1910 for a couple reasons. One, you could get heroin at any local pharmacy. Two, you could also get cocaine at any local pharmacy.
That's true too.
And three, in order to get any sort of money anywhere, all you had to do is pull a gun on somebody, and you could rob pretty much anywhere you wanted to be or any place, and you would get away with it. Like unless you got stopped by the cops on the way out.
Well, there were no cops.
I mean, there were some, but
there was usually a sheriff and a deputy, and if they needed more, they banded together. You know, they got a posse.
Yeah.
And then they give out a bunch of badges to everybody, and today you're a cop.
Yeah. Well, in New York, like, you know, turn of the century New York, they had like the police department and stuff like that, but it was like, you know.
But I love how the reason you said there was because you could get coke at a pharmacy, heroin at a pharmacy, and you could just basically rob anybody. So
it's fantastic.
That's great.
Yeah. Like,
okay.
What else would you want?
That's like that cowboy shit time, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd want to live in the cowboy. It's cool, but it's a little. I don't know. I do okay in lawlessness.
Yeah.
I do all right in lawlessness. You know, so I guess I could have did all right in that realm, but it took too long to get places, dog. You have to ride fucking horses.
Yeah, see, I would want to live in the city, like live in New York City, 1905, 1910.
Yeah, but they still had horses and shit, right?
Oh yeah, definitely, yeah.
So
horses.
if you still wanted to travel somewhere else, you had to get on that fucking train, that slow moving train.
Everything must have stunk too.
Everything must have stunk.
It smells so bad.
I don't think I think that's a little too deep out there, man. You know, I mean, it's cool, the whole heroin and cocaine thing. That's cool, man. I mean, the truth is, man, it was so much easier to do crime back then, before forensics and shit. You know, what if forensics was all bullshit? Because I heard somewhere that there were some things of forensics that turned out to be bullshit. What if that shit is some dude just said, yeah, you know, this DNA shit, man, and people go, well, it gets people off. Yeah, well, it has to for you to believe in it. It's going to have to get some people off, right? I'm not saying it is, but what if it was? What if all that shit was a lie? Like they made up this whole forensic shit. We got people sitting in jail. I swear to God, it wasn't my hair. It wasn't my fucking hair. Yeah, man.
The crazy shit is people who, you know, I was reading some articles in, I think it was like a National Geographic or some other magazine I had. People getting off a death row after like 20 years because of forensic evidence that they got.
Yeah, that's what makes me believe in it, is that they'll take a dude off death row. But then again, if you want them to believe it, you got to let a couple of death row motherfuckers go. Yeah. You know, if you want them to. In other words, like, to be good, it can't always be like, you know, no, it's solid. You got to show some mistakes in it. Yeah. And say that, oh, well, we were able to solve this because, I don't know. I guess it's real. I'm not saying it's that I believe in. I believe in that. Because I believe in that spilt blood, you know, screams up from the floor to be justified. Mm-hmm. So I believe they unlocked the key on how that shit, because it doesn't come out of shit. You know, it's hard to get blood out of shit. You know, it remains to be found. It sits there screaming from the walls. As long as you hit it with that shit, it'll pop up. And then, you know, and then they'll find a dude that, yeah, I believe that shit's real.
Yeah, I think
it was so much easier to do crime though before that shit. Oh my God, it must have been like a free for all.
Yeah, I told you.
How did you get busted back then?
You had to get caught like in the act. You know, you had to get, like, someone would literally have to like stop you while you were doing it, or you would just get accused by a bunch of people and then they would just kill you for it.
Yeah,
that was like the other part of it, like with the witch trials and shit like that. Like if you get the whole town against you, then you're
kangaroo
done.
Court shits.
Yeah,
you know, they just string you up.
But I was telling you, I think the other podcast about this guy H. Holmes, who was like a mass murderer at the Chicago
that
World
he had
Fair.
A building.
Yes, yeah. I'll see. I'll ask my dad. I think I have a copy of the book at my parents' house. If I grab it, I'll give it to you. It was fucking nuts.
Yeah, I think I heard about that though. Did he have like was it like a hotel type shit? No, right?
Yeah. Here it is.
Yeah, I've heard about that dude.
Yeah, he built like secret chambers like on the inside of it where he would lure women into it and then gas them. But the craziest thing was how he actually got this building is he befriended a woman whose dad was a pharmacist, right?
Yeah.
And told the dad, he's like, oh yeah, I'm a pharmacist. And like back then, you could just tell people
that you're a pharmacist.
Yeah, and they're like, oh.
And as long as you had a little bit of heroin and cocaine, they believed you.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, everything was a little cooler back then, wasn't it?
Yeah, you just like, oh, okay, I guess this guy's a pharmacist, and
But I believe the 70s and the 60s and 70s had better music.
Oh yeah, it would have been fucking awesome.
I would need better music. I would need better music than what they were playing back
better
then.
Food too. The food back then was probably not good. No refrigerator.
Dude, you don't really even see a lot of restaurants in those days. If you think about it, a lot of, like, when you watch fucking Westerns, you ever see a scene where they're just chilling eating dinner at a restaurant?
Nah, it's like a saloon, and that's
it's all
it.
Saloons, and you never even see them serving fries. All right? Am I bugging out?
No, it's a good point.
I've never seen a fucking restaurant. I've seen them at plays.
Yeah.
The theater,
Theater.
And they're all watching that shit. You know how much it must have sucked to be like in the theater performing for a bunch of fucking cowboys that are all, reckless and drunk and shooting their guns in the air. Like, was it like that? You ever seen what's that one? With what's the fuck? Gravestone? What's it called? Tombstone. You ever saw Tombstone?
No.
You never saw Tombstone?
No.
Oh, dude, man, get up on your game.
I know it's kind of fucked up, man. I'm so into video production, but I'm not really I like movies, but I haven't seen
Tombstone. It's a classic, dude. Tombstone is a fucking classic, man. You gotta see that shit.
Oh yeah, 93 Tombstone. Okay,
it's a fucking classic. It's a shame I have to say that. 93, damn, man. Time flies, yo. Getting older and older and older. Time flies, man. Fucking 93. But that's a great fucking movie. And in there, you relate to his wife because all she does is sip on heroin the whole fucking time.
Oh, really?
She was a heroin addict. Yeah. And he wound up leaving her for somebody else. That shit is fucking, that movie's fucking dope. But they show like the dude, performing, and they have all these people performing, and everyone's like fucking shooting in the air, throwing bottles if they don't like them. I fucking think it's hard now doing stand-up comedy. Try doing that shit back in the fucking Western. The guys better be funny.
Yeah.
You better be funny. They would definitely shoot at you. I don't know. I think about, I don't want that much lawlessness. Got to scale it back a little bit.
Just a little bit.
You want to know what's so fucked up about like the way our minds work? I was having a conversation the other day, and it was a simple question. It was a simple thought, which was, imagine if everybody was just cool with each other, like everybody just got along and actually cared and treated each other like that. Very simple thought, right? But then right away we started getting into like, yeah, but if you did that, then, would anyone have to work? And I was like, well, there's a lot of jobs that don't need people to work right now, like electric company, all that. We have the technology that the main necessities of what we need in life can just be done by robots. The technology's out there. Mm-hmm. You don't really need people actually in there to work. But if they don't have us doing that, then what are we going to do? Because that's what we've been trained to do since that's what the school system teaches you, is how to become a good worker. It doesn't teach you how to be a free thinker. And the fact, if you're a free thinker, then you do bad in school. You have to follow the rules. So we've been taught to do that. So right away I'm sitting there going, all right, well, we wouldn't have to do that. So there'd be a bunch of people that really don't have to work, And then it's like, all right, and those people should be able to get the necessities of food and whatever. I said, but then they shouldn't be able to travel on a plane or some shit if they ain't got money. But then again, planes nowadays fly themselves. They got the code. You know what I'm saying? Like, in other words, if everybody was cool with each other, like everyone treated each other just with love, you wouldn't even have homeless people. And then I made a comment like, yeah, because if you saw someone and you actually cared, homeless one day, because, it could happen that for a night something happened and now you're in the street. I said, if I saw that person, I would, say, yeah, here's some money, go get a hotel. Even if you're a little short, the person at the hotel be a little short, but you know what? You need a room. So come take the room. There wouldn't even be no need for money in a sense. But then you sit there and and the thoughts just become like, okay, but if you were really cool, wouldn't you just bring them home? And I'm thinking, yeah, but what if like I'm married and my wife doesn't really want, people there? And then you think, but then she's not being cool.
Right.
So I think, I sit there, I go, yeah, but what about if you just want your own space? But if you was actually in love, like if it was love that you lived in, then your own space wouldn't even matter. It would be like, this person is in need. Bring them to the house. You don't even have to ask. But you see how deep the thoughts go? Like, it's not even a simple thing. Imagine if everybody was cool. Then you start thinking of all the other shit that you feel like you would lose. You know, just a thought. I don't know if it goes anywhere, but I'm just saying, like, that's a crazy thought, how something so simple can be so like, it wouldn't work.
Yeah.
You know, nowadays people go, that wouldn't work. Just give people things. Just do things out of the kindness of your heart. What do you mean no one gets paid? What do you mean there's no buying and trading with the dollar? It's just a thing of what you need. I could actually do what you need. I'll come over and do it. What do I owe you? Well, one day I might need something and I can't do it. And that might be what your expertise is. And you come over and take care of that. You know what I'm saying? And people just doing what they can for each other. Your bills are definitely paid. You always have, you know, everyone has a roof over their head. You know, the necessities are given to you. It does come a point where people want more. That's where the working comes out, I guess.
Yeah, and then there's the people who don't want to do anything.
And the people that don't want to do anything.
For anybody else.
Yeah, but see, here's the thing. In a world of love, who cares? They don't want to do anything. Let them not do anything.
Yeah.
They're the ones living the boring fucking life. Sure, they're always fed. Sure, they have a warm place to stay at night. Sure, they have a shelter over their head when it rains. You know what I'm saying? Why would anyone be mad at that? Well, because they didn't work. Yeah, but they're a human being. You know what I'm saying? Chances are they're not doing nothing. They're also not going to do the traveling that you want to do because you want to do something.
Right. Yeah, I read this. I'm going back probably like 10 years, but I read this really interesting article about Cuba, and it was different than anything I've ever read about Cuba. But this guy who was a Cuban, he wrote the article. He's like, listen, you know, I work 10 hours a week, and I barely work when I'm at work. I have a roof over my head. I eat rice and beans every day, and you know, every once in a while I'll get some meat or something else. And I live on the beach. It's like, it's really not that bad of a life for him.
Exactly.
I mean, I'm sure, you know, there's tons of Cubans who would completely disagree with that, but it was different to me to hear that perspective coming from that guy. He
was totally content.
Yeah, he's like, you know,
didn't want a lot.
He's like,
you know,
and
then there's going to be those ones who want to travel and see the world and do it.
Right.
And you'd be able to do it because everything's out of love. You ain't got to pay. Just, you know, get online and make a date to go out there and do what you want to do and experience life. Why are you mad that there's people that don't want to do it? Don't fly Spirit. You know what I'm saying?
Love Airline.
Yeah, fly Love Airline, exactly. But I'm just saying, like, you know, it's crazy how our mind switches and we always think about, but what about the person that's not doing shit?
Yeah.
Well, you know, what do you care? Because anything you do would be because you want to do it, not because you have to.
Yeah, I'm actually...
Then it changes the game.
I'm tomorrow on my podcast, I'm going to have this guy who was the Libertarian vice presidential candidate in 2020 on the show, and I'm talking to him about a bunch of things. But one of the things that he thinks is like, you know, you shouldn't have to pay taxes. It should all be like a voluntary system. You know what I mean? Like, you know, small example is instead of me taking 30% of my salary and giving it to the government to decide what to do with it, you know, I take 20% of my salary and I, you know, give it out to charity as I see fit rather than what the government sees fit. It's like a big libertarian principle.
Yeah, I don't trust charities.
No, I don't either. But I mean, something I do, you know, not often, but, you know, from time to time, if I see a guy, you know, panhandling, you know, if I have, you know, a 1, a 5, a 10 or something, or, you know, however generous I feel that day, you know, I'll give it to the guy. You know what I mean?
As long as he don't shove his hand in your car with a bag.
Trying to sell me something.
Trying to sell you something.
You know what's funny, bro? I probably would have gave that lady something if she had come up and asked. Like if I had any like spare change or something, I probably would have gave her whatever change I had, you know, in the cup of my car.
It was the host selling you something.
Aggressively selling
you something.
Oh,
that'll
man.
do it.
Yeah.
That'll fucking do it, man. Shit. I don't know. It was a mellow day. I expected to be a little more nuttier today because I was kind of on fire when we got here, but I feel like I'm forgetting something I wanted to say, but if I do, I'll remember it. I'll remember it for next time, I guess. Man.
Yeah, bring it for next week.
Yeah, I gotta get more on point. I got things I want to say and I forget to jot them down. You know, but yeah, man. How long we been going, man? We've been going for
Hour and a half.
Hour and a half's good, right? Nice fucking length. An hour and a half seems easy. All right, man. Well, you got anything you want to share? Anything going on? I got some things for y'all to put in your fucking calendars, man. Check on my Gary G Garcia on my Instagram, people. Go check out the shows that I got fucking coming up. I got a bunch of them. I'm gonna be going out to Ohio. Let me see my fucking dates, man. I just started putting everything into my calendar. I've never done that before, and I still can't keep my shit together. My shit is still fucked up, man. I'm telling you, man. All right, so tonight, if you're watching this now, tonight I'll be in Queens, Jamaica. Go on my page, check that show out, get some tickets, come check me out. Then I leave the 8th with Adam Gable, man. We're going to be leaving, going to Missouri. Go on my page, check out those dates if you're in Missouri. And I'll be in Ohio on the 11th over at Wiley's. I'm kind of busy, man. I leave again on the road the 22nd with Mike Merck. We'll be back at Wiley's. We'll be over at the Funny Stop. Just check on my page. All that shit is coming up the 22nd through the 2nd. I'll be gone for a little while. And if I'm not on the road, then you know where to catch me, ACJokes. Just go to ACJokes.com. Check out the schedule. And, you know, you can see what we're doing, man. Anything you want to add to that, man?
That's it.
On behalf of my man, Brian Licata, and myself, Gary G Garcia, I thank you for spending some time with us and listening, man. The fact that you're even back for the 5th show means so much to me. Come check us out over at acjokes.com, man, and become part of the family.